Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Johnny TCG video. I'm Johnny TCG. I'm so excited to see you here today. Today, I've got another Green Uta video. Green Uta, one of my favorite off-meta leaders right now. A lot of new support in OP13. Obviously, she's not in the top 3 main meta, but when it comes to off-meta decks, she's definitely one of the best. At least I think so. If you disagree, you can let me know in the comments down below. Today I've got a game against Red Black Sabo, another really strong, not quite meta, not quite tier 1 leader in OP13, but definitely a strong leader, no doubt. I did make a couple updates to my deck list, which I did a complete deck profile. I'll throw it up on screen in the comments below and in the description. You're definitely going to want to check that video out if you haven't seen it, because I go over every single card in the list in great detail. We've got a lot of games on the sim, then we talk about it afterwards. So if you haven't given it a shot, give it a shot. One thing to note is that I did make a couple changes. The big one is I took out the 3 6-cost Trafalgar Laws from OP13. I really never used it to its full potential. Not any searchers to really bounce back to my hand, which is when he's at his best, really. It feels really good to bounce back a 1-cost to your hand and then cheat out a 5-cost. But if you're bouncing back a 3-cost Katakuri or a 3-cost Nami and then just cheating out like an Uta or a Zoro, that doesn't really feel amazing. What I put in instead of Trafalgar Law is I just upped the ratios a little bit. I put in an extra Sanji, an extra Luffy, and an extra Shanks. Definitely needed the extra Shanks and even the extra Luffy. Luffy's an OP2 card, but still really good, especially when you need to go wide. It's a great opportunity to establish another blocker like the 4-cost Uta, or if you're really kind of down bad for another blocker, this 2-cost Gordon is a very nice choice as well. The only non-film card I'm running in this deck is the Dead Man's Game. Obviously, I hate to whiff on leader ability, but this is just such a good card. I really don't like including non-film cards in a Green Uta list, but this card is just too strong to ignore. With that being said, folks, we do have a giveaway today. Before we get into the gameplay, today I'm going to be giving away a custom Money Sonic Don. Yes, this is kind of cursed. It's original artwork by me. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment if you want this cursed Don. If this video gets 15 likes in the first 24 hours, I will randomly choose a US-based commenter, send it to you completely free. That's all you got to do, folks, is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. Then, if you want to make my day, if you want to make me smile, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. We're on the quest for 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and with your help, we might be able to make that possible. So hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment if you want to win a cursed Sonic Don. With that being said, you've had enough of me yapping. Editor, roll the gameplay. Alright folks, we're going to be able to choose the turn order. I am always going to steal second against Sabo pretty much. Red Black Sabo loves to go second so they can play that 8-cost dragon on curve along with that 6-cost Sabo. So it's usually a good idea to steal second from them. For 1 Don, they're going to play out the stage Trash Black Vortex to do a little card cycling. They 5 the OP12 Monkey D Dragon and then pass it back to us. 2 Don, we don't have any plays. We could play out that 2k counter Monkey D Luffy. Now, normally I don't like playing that card out, but on this turn, it actually might not be the worst idea in the world, just because they are a 4,000 power leader for the early game, and Luffy can actually hit that with his effect. So, interesting idea there, but I am just going to pass it back to them. 3 Don here for them to work with. They actually recognize my name. I didn't realize my name was visible on the sim. I thought I had it set to private, so that's pretty funny. They'll start out with a Garb search and find the Stussy. That is bad news for me. Stussy's definitely going to be a little bit diabolical later on in the game. They're really funny to meet a viewer on the sim. I guess it makes sense, but I just did not expect it because I didn't think my name was visible. They'll do a cycle with Stage, trashing the 8-cost Dragon, which is pretty interesting, and they'll find the OP13 Sabo, which is such a good card, of course. They'll give 2 down to their leader, swing 6,000 into our life, which we, of course, will take. Off of our life, we do get the Helmeppo 2k counter. Always love to see a 2k counter. Now we can play out the 4-cost Uta, restand 2 Don, and then I'm just going to give 2 Don to our leader, swing 7,000 into their life, which I assume they'll take, and we get to draw a card off leader ability. We find another Uta. Now I'm actually really happy to have these Utas, because if they play the hack blocker, that can pop a 4-cost character. Uta's the perfect card, because then we get to cheat out a 5-cost or lower body, so that is good news for us. 7,000 into their life. They say they like my videos, and I really appreciate that so much. If you're watching this, fam, it was great to play with you, and yeah, I appreciate the support. Passing it to them, 5 Don here for them to work with. They'll start out by using Stage, doing a little card cycle, trashing a 6-cost Sabo, and then drawing the OP12 8-cost Monkey D Dragon. They'll follow that up with a GARP search, and off the GARP search, they will find Goldie, Roger, OP09. I gotta keep that in mind so I don't go to 0 life or put them at 0 life and find myself at the risk of that Goldie, Roger. They're also gonna play down the hack and then pass to us. That hack, not too worried about it because, of course, Uta's ability allows us to cheat out a 5-cost body. I'm trying to think exactly what is the best play here. I'm going to start out with a 5,000 power Uta swing. If they want to block this with hack, be my guest, absolutely. I'll actually be able to cheat out a 5-cost Sanji, which will be pretty rad. I think in hindsight, I would do this turn a little bit differently. I still would do a 5,000 power swing with Uta, which they will take, but then I've got 6 Don to work with, and I'm kind of debating, do I go 4-cost Uta here, or do I go 5-cost Sanji from OP13? Both allow me to restand 2 Don. I'm going to go with the Uta just because Uta will allow me to cheat out another body when she's KO'd. Then I'll swing 6,000 with our leader. Using leader ability, we draw another Uta, which is pretty funny. 6,000 into 5,000. If they block with hack here, not too worried about it. I'm going to try to cheat out Sanji, but then I forgot about Uta's ability that I can't play a cost 5 or greater character for the rest of the turn after using her ability. And so I thought like the sim was glitched for a second. I reread the card and then I saw that and I was just feeling so stupid. Then I will cheat out just another Uta off of the Uta, which is kind of interesting that you can cheat out Uta with Uta. I'll play out the Nami and do a search with her. Off the Nami search, we have the choice between a 2k counter and a 2-cost chump blocker. I'm going to go with the 2k counter, but taking the chump blocker is not a terrible idea either. I don't have any blockers in my hand currently, and those could definitely come in handy. I'll just take the 2k counter, though, to protect my life, protect my board. We'll see. 7 down for them to work with, and they'll go with the 6-cost Sabo from OP13. Such a good card. Giving a Don to their leader. They are now a 6,000 power base. They'll probably just swing really big into either our Uta character or Uta leader. I guess that's their only option, either the character or the leader. Wow, really riveting commentary, folks, from me. They'll do a cycle with the stage. They'll give a Don to their leader, swing 8,000 into the Uta. I will let the Uta go. I'm able to play out the 5-cost Sanji now, restand 2 Don, and now I'm really liking where we're at. 8 Don for us to work with, and I don't really know what to do this turn. I think I'm just going to have to draw with our leader ability and then the new Genesis as well. I would love to find a 7-cost blocker Luffy to play out this turn, because I don't really want to play out anything from our hand currently. Maybe the 4-cost Sanji, that's a 2k counter and then has that Don ×1 ability, but I don't really love where we're at in general. I'm going to take the Shanks off the new Genesis. I think that is going to be a great card. They do have the Stussy though, so I do have to keep that in mind. This is definitely the wrong order. I should have swung with leader first, using leader ability to draw a card. Off the Nami search though, we find another Shanks, which will be great. If they have 2 Stussies, so be it, but Shanks could really come in handy in this matchup. They are going to free block that Nami swing, so I'll swing 6,000 now with our leader. We top deck the 3-cost Katakuri. That's pretty solid if I say so myself. 6,000 into 6,000. They do have plenty of cards in hand. They will take that though. Now I'll swing 6,000 with our Uta character. 6,000 into 6,000. They'll 1k counter out of this. 4 Don left up. I'm debating between the 4-cost Sanji and the 3-cost Katakuri, but I'm just going to give a Don to our Sanji character, swing 8,000 into 6,000, force them to give us 2 cards from hand or take that. They will take that, and then I'll play out the 3-cost Katakuri. That is a 6,000 power base when I have 6 or more rested cards, which at this point in the game I always will have. 9 Don for them to work with here. We could see the Stussy come down. That wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world if they really want to pop my Sanji, but I assume they'll wait to play that. They're going to play out the 8-cost Sabo from OP7, and this is some spicy tech, folks. Unless I missed something, I feel like I never see people play this card in Red-Black Sabo. That is actually huge for them. They're able to get rid of my 5-cost Sanji and my Nami. I have a ton of counter in my hand, so if they tried to swing into those characters, I could have countered out most likely to keep them alive, and so this was such a huge play for them. Shout out to my opponent there for this perfectly timed Sabo. Being able to pop those 2 characters was, I mean, amazing for them. Terrible for me, but amazing for them. They're going to trash the Roger here off stage, and it'll be interesting to see if they have another Roger or if they just don't think it's going to be relevant in this matchup. They might be thinking they need to find some more counter. They'll find an OP13 Secret Rare Sabo off of that stage search. They're going to swing into Uta, and I will cheat out a body now with Uta's ability. I guess cheating out the Sanji makes more sense than the Helmeppo, just because he has more upside than the Helmeppo with his ability. Helmeppo is a stronger base power, but I think it makes more sense to play Sanji. Here, I do not love where we're at, folks. That was really disheartening. We whiff off the leader ability, which is terrible too. It was a dead man's game. We'll swing 6,000. They did not bite and free block with the 6-cost Sabo, and that is a bummer because I'm not going to get any value from Shanks, and playing that out with no value feels so bad. I might just play out another Sanji just to get some rested Don and help me with my goal of powering up my characters using their effects. I don't really just want to throw Don on them for no reason. We'll swing 6,000 with Katakuri, or maybe I should just give him a Don and not let them free block. I guess that's what I'll do. This turn feels really bad. I'm following up their great turn with a kind of mid-turn from me. 7,000 into 6,000. They will 2k counter out of that. 4 Don left up for me. I'm just going to throw this all on our Sanji and then just swing big. Maybe putting them down to 0, or maybe letting the Sabo blocker go. They also do have a Don up. If they have that Revolutionary Army event, which they do, they were able to block and keep the Sabo alive, which is a bummer for me for sure. My characters are really vulnerable right now. I've got a decent amount of counter in hand, but they're going to have some big bodies, and yeah, this is looking rough for us, folks. The tables have turned, definitely. They're at 10 Don. They're going to play out the 8-cost Monkey D Dragon. They're going to be able to cheat out another 6-cost Secret Rare Sabo from OP13 using their abilities. Now they're going to be able to give their leader 2 rested Don cards every single turn. That is absolutely diabolical. They're going to give another Don to their leader and then swing a big 9,000 into our Katakuri. Gotta let that go. I could have countered out of it, but they're just going to clear it with the Sabo as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they swing the blocker Sabo here. They're not really super at risk of dying next turn, but you never know. They might want to play really conservatively. They're going to swing the 8,000 Sabo blocker. I will take that. We get another I'm Invincible, which is very interesting. I'm going to start out here swinging 6,000 with leader. This is going to be a Shanks turn. It does feel kind of bad, though, knowing that they can play Stussy next turn, but I think we have to pop one of their big bodies. There might be something to be said about popping the Sabo blocker, but I'm going to pop the 8-cost Sabo just because it has 2,000 more power, so I think that's the right play. We'll pop it, then we'll pass it back to them. They immediately pop my Shanks using their Stussy, and that feels so bad. Look at the difference in our boards, folks. This is absolutely ridiculous. The one bright side is that they only have 3 cards in hand, and we have a ton. We have a decent amount of counter, a couple bricks, which I don't love at this point in the game. That 3-cost Nami isn't going to be too useful, I'd say. They'll swing 8,000 into us, and we will counter out of that. We'll take the 9,000 power Dragon swing. Are they going to swing with the Sabo blocker? That is the question. They're going to do a stage search and find the OP07 Rush Dragon. Next turn, they might go all in and just try to go for game. It's going to be a close one, though. I've got a lot of counter. We'll see, though. I'm going to start off with a 6,000 power leader swing, get that card draw from leader ability. They will probably free block this, or maybe not. They'll just counter out of that. They want to keep their Sabos standing. It's tempting to play the 9-cost Shanks here and pop their Dragon, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think maybe playing down 7-cost Luffy blocker into the 2-cost Gordon could be the move, a chump blocker. I think this is probably our safest play, and then hopefully the Luffy blocker can stay alive, and that'll be a good swing for next turn, as we likely have to go for game sooner rather than later. We have 2 I'm Invincibles, which is pretty rad. Those will definitely come in handy. I'm going to swing 9,000 now with our Sanji. They will use the counter event, which perfect that we got that out of their hand. We know that one of the cards in their hand is a brick, so it'll be interesting to see. 10 Don for them to work with. They're going to play out the 8-cost Monkey D Dragon, give 2 rested Don to their leader using Dragon's ability. They're able to give their leader another 2 rested Dons with their Sabo ability, and if they go all in and go for lethal this turn, it's going to be really close, folks. I'm going to have to think about what the best math here is to counter out. Sometimes it can be really tricky to decide what attacks you need to counter out of and which ones you shouldn't. 10,000 with their one dragon first. I am going to counter out of this with 3 2Ks, slowly dwindling my hand size. Now I only have 2K left of counter in my hand, and this makes me nervous. I'll take that 10,000 power swing from the Stussy, 10,000 now from the other dragon, and I think it makes sense for me to take this as well. Man, it feels bad that we don't have more counter. We do top deck the 2K, which is huge. They're going to swing 10,000 into our Sanji, and I am going to bait them a little bit. This is actually really scary if they decide to go for game with the other blocker Sabos, but maybe they won't. Maybe they will just keep them up and try to survive another turn and then finish us off next turn, and that's what they're going to do. This is absolutely huge. We top deck the Dead Man's Game, so we're going to be able to rest both of their Sabos. We also have the I'm Invincibles, which would come in handy here as well, and I think this is just going to be game, folks. We're going to swing 7,000 with our Luffy blocker. If they have a 2K, so be it. We'll just finish them off with a Sanji swing and then a double Uta swing, or we don't even need to do a double Uta swing at that point. 7,000 into 6,000, they have to take that, or they didn't have to, but I'm assuming they don't have a 2K counter. I'm going to give 3 down to my leader, swing at 8,000, draw a card off leader ability, even though at this point it doesn't make a difference. Was going to just use I'm Invincible to restand our leader, and GG's to my opponent. That was such a close game, a really fun one. I felt bad saying GG in just lowercase when my opponent did capital letters and an exclamation point. I did not mean to come off as like rude or anything. So my opponent, I'm sorry I didn't have more enthusiasm at the end. That was a crazy game. Thank you for playing with me, and if you made it this far in the video, folks, thank you for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the game I got for you today. What did you think about it? That ending was absolutely crazy. I really thought we were in control of that game until they played that 8-cost secret rare Sabo. That is some spicy tech that really caught me off guard and was the perfect card to counteract me going wide. I was so bummed when that happened. I mean, it really turned the tide of the game. We found a way to win, though. We got a little bit lucky top decking the Dead Man's Game, but we did have I'm Invincible in our hand, so maybe there was a way we won regardless. Anyway, thanks for making it this far in the video. If you did, you're an absolute real one. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. This has been a Johnny TCG video, a Johnny TCG production, a Johnny TCG masterpiece. Okay, I'm being dramatic now. That's the end of the video, folks. Have an amazing day. Peace.